Hoi hoi everyone, and welcome back to An Uncharted Life with Tara. Now today's topic is a little specific with regards to the cruising industry, and a lot of cruisers may never actually experience this. But just in case it's coming up in your next cruise that you're going on, or you actually want to know what it is, this video is for you. Now, tender operations, water taxi, water shuttle, they all go by a variety of different names, but it all means the same thing. You will be unable to dock in a certain port, and you'll have to anchor outside that port. Now, the reason you will be anchoring could be for multiple different reasons. One of them could be the fact that, I know, like in Cayman Island, they have a beautiful natural reef area around their island that they are solely committed to protecting. So you have to tender to and from, because no ships can get there, because otherwise you're going to affect the coral reefs that are growing there, the animals that survive on those reefs, and they're very dedicated to protecting that natural environment area. So you have to tender in for that one, for them to protect the environment. This situation, I believe it is a very good reason to tender in, and also you are then protecting the natural environment, and you're making sure that you do not destroy that for tourism, because that is also a massive tourism driver for the Cayman Islands, so you don't want to actually destroy it. Number two, the port you are going to is, one, not developed or prepared to take in like cruise ships, because some areas they get cruise ships maybe once every few seasons. Like, there's only one ship that might keep coming back to that particular area, so it's just easier for them to turn around and go, okay, cool, tender in, because they don't see the point in building a massive cruise ship terminal just for like one ship to come in every like 2-3 weeks. It makes no sense for them. In the current state, there is also a third reason, which is places like Belize, for example. They started building a massive cruise terminal that was supposed to go into actual work and be there for the people, and 2020 shut down those projects, and the countries are still trying to recover from the actual loss that 2020 created for them. So there's a lot of countries now that have unfinished cruise terminals, which is unfortunate, but you can thank 2020. Let me just put it nicely and say it that way. So those are some of the reasons why you might have to tender in. And tendering in, water shuttle, water taxi, all of these things just mean that you will be anchoring at one particular point. You'll have to take a boat to get to shore. Now, this can be very easy or very complicated, depending on how easy or difficult you make your life. So what I'm going to give you is some top tips to make your life super easy and just relax, especially when these tender ports do pop up. So we're going to get started right now. So number one, if you are going to go to a tender port, please book your shore excursion through the cruise line. Now, there's nothing more irritating for me as a crew member to sit there at the tender shuttles handing out your tickets, and you coming up to me frantically going, I need to be on the next tender out of here because my shore excursion is leaving in 30 minutes. Under normal circumstances, I would recommend always booking shore excursions with the actual cruise line that you're going with, because there's a lot of things that like will guarantee that you are protected, you are safe, and if you have any issues, the cruise line sorts it out. I did make a video on this, which I will link up above and in the description below. But also, if you book a shore excursion with an external company on a tender day, we cannot guarantee that you will get out in time to actually go on that shore excursion. Now, they turn around and they tell you, oh, make sure you're out on the first tender. That is almost impossible for us to guarantee, because we don't know the tendering operations, how long it takes to get to and from the actual point of call, or what is happening behind the scenes. I've had situations where we have had the first person to go out on a tender boat was a medical evacuation, which delayed the tender operations by 1 hour, because we obviously had to prioritize the person who needed the medical assistance, the medical team, so that they can get the person into the tender boat and out of the tender boat on shore side, the family of the person who is being medically disembarked. There's a lot that goes into that. So when you are coming on board and you know it is going to be a tender port, please book your shore excursions through the cruise line, because they have priority. There are many times where we actually don't send people out because the shore excursion team gets priority and goes, we're late for this and this and this shore excursion, so no one else is going because our guys who have paid for a shore excursion get to go first. So please, when you're doing this, book through the shore excursion desk. Even if it is the only one that you book, please do that. Number 2, when we arrive, we have an arrival time. Now, with every port that we go to, we need to get clearance from the security on the actual land of the country we're visiting. It's not just that we arrive and it's like, oh yeah, everyone can get off. No, we have to clear customs, border control as a ship. They need to give us clearance. So with tender operations, that makes it even more difficult, because first of all, we've got to anchor. Then we need to get a tender to shoreside so that they can come on board. Or in some cases, there will be certain tenders that we will hire out as a cruise line so that they can come and actually help us. And in a lot of these situations, some of the tenders that do come and help can take anywhere from 100 to 500 people capacity, which does help a lot. But once again, cannot guarantee that that will sort you out, especially depending on what your situation is. Coming back to the boat, it's super easy because then you can just sit everywhere. Getting off the boat will be problematic. But because we need to clear customs, clear border control, and do all the legal paperwork for you to enjoy your holiday at this port, that can delay us. So if you're frantic and desperately want to get out, we cannot guarantee that. And I've had a lot of people turning around and complaining to me when I'm at the water shuttle desk going, this is the worst. Why can't we go out? We've already been here for 20 minutes. And the reason is we're waiting for the country we've gone to give us clearance, because we can be turned away as a cruise line if they're not happy with how we're running the ship, if something happens or we're not up to standard or complying with their rules and regulations. I understand it's frustrating, I understand it's upsetting, but please take this into consideration when you are making your plans, because sometimes it'll be better just to 1, book the shore excursion through the ship, or 2, sleep in. I would recommend number 2 though, just sleep in. Number 3, in certain ports, with regards to certain tenders that we get, wheelchair and scooter access are not allowed. So yes, you are able to take the wheelchair or scooter that you're on down to the actual docking station area where you are able to get onto the tender boat, but you are not necessarily able to actually climb on board with your scooter or your wheelchair. Certain tender boats are made with that in mind and they are able to help, but 9 out of 10 times, what I've noticed over all of my contracts is that there are very few boats that are made in mind for those who unfortunately have these disabilities of movement. So if you are going to go ashore, please keep that in mind, that you may have to leave the wheelchair or scooter behind. A walker is fine to take with you, but please make sure that if you're going to take a walker, you can make the step that is going to go into the tender boat and come out of the tender boat, because with the tender boat it goes according to the waves, so we cannot guarantee that it's just going to sit still there. It actually will move up and down. We have a lot of guys who are standing there helping you come on and off of the actual tender boat, because we don't want you falling into the water. That would be terrible for us, but just keep that in mind. Now, moving on to number 4, please do not come down until you are ready. So what happens is that every cruise line does have a different system. But everyone is always coming down thinking, oh, okay, well, I'll just grab a tender ticket now and then I'll leave when I want to. Unfortunately, that is not how the system works. The system works that when your whole party is ready to leave. Now, if they are just in the bathroom, like down the hall, just taking a little pee, or if they're literally on the elevators down to come meet you in the area, or they've forgotten their jacket and they're just running back up to the stateroom quickly, those are okay situations because we cannot guarantee when the numbers are going to be called. So please only come down to the tender boat operations area where you're supposed to collect your tickets when you and your whole party is ready to leave. Because you coming down there and going, oh, but I only want to leave in an hour, you're delaying us because now we've got to explain the process to you. We've got to explain that no, unfortunately that's not how it works, because when that number is called, the guys downstairs are actually keeping a tally. And if that tally is incorrect, then you come down 2 hours later with that number and they go, that number is no longer valid, because they're actually keeping a tally of all the numbers that we have called and all the numbers that are going. I understand this is painful, this is annoying, we should come up with a better system, but this is so that those who are ready to go and want to get off the ship can go. Yes, it's not fun. Yes, I know you're going to complain about whatever number you get, but I've had a lot of situations where I've handed out tickets and not even 10 seconds later an announcement has gone out and that exact ticket number needs to run down to the water shuttles. So please, if you're going to go and grab your water shuttle tickets, be ready to rock and roll, because we cannot guarantee when that number will be called or how long the wait is. I've had situations where they've called 3 numbers and not even 5 minutes later they called 3 other numbers because a tender arrived. So yes, it looks like a very long, lengthy process, and trust me, it can be, but it can also be super quick depending on how well it is running and how well you guys are working with us. If you guys are not working with us, it'll make the process even longer. So please be nice to the person who's behind the desk giving you the water shuttle tickets. Try to understand what's going on. A lot of cruise lines will give out information from the cruise director on a TV program that they'll have every day, or in their own like patters or journey plans or planners that they send out to all the rooms. Please read the information and try your best. If you're just coming there to double check the system, we have no problem helping you out and explaining stuff to you. But if we're making announcements, please listen to the announcements. It really, really does help us, especially then you're not wasting anyone else's time. And we've had a lot of guests get very upset because we're trying to help someone who doesn't understand the process, because all the information was given previously, but they just didn't take the time or bother to actually listen or read the information provided, which is very upsetting, because as crew we do really go through a lot of preparation to try and help you and have the best experience. But if you're not working with us, there's not really much else we can do. Like, yeah. Number 5, please, if this is a port that you don't want to really, if you're not really interested in visiting, I know a lot of people who actually use tender ports as an opportunity to relax. They've had back-to-back port days, and so they just turn around and they go, okay, cool. So because it's a tender day, and often it might not even be a place that you really do want to see, so please double check your itineraries, do your research, and see if it is something that is worthwhile booking the shore excursion or getting up early for, so that you can grab the tender ticket. Otherwise, sleep in. The whole process is we hand out tender tickets or water shuttle tickets or water taxi tickets until we get open tender. Now what open tender is that is the point where we're no longer handing out tickets and you can literally just go straight down to the tenders. And this is great because that means you can leave at any time. So if the tender port you're going to is not one that you're particularly fussed about missing, or really one that you want to spend a lot of effort or time on, or you're just going to turn around and plan your cruise in a way where that is the port that you kind of go, okay, that is the one I sleep in, I would heavily recommend that. sleep in on that port, go grab breakfast late, and once they announce open tender, go get ready and then head down to the water shuttles or the water taxis or the tenders, because that'll make your life so much easier. And number 6, please, please, please come back an hour earlier than the last shuttle. So what usually happens is that because these water shuttles do take time to get to and from the ship, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's fine, the last water shuttle is at 5:30 or 4:30 or whatever time, and then the line goes from here all the way to Timbuktu. If you want to get on board and skip the line, arrive about an hour earlier. Come an hour earlier, that way you can just join the line, it'll go into the tender, and it'll be a faster process. But please make sure you know what time the last tender is leaving, because we do not want to leave anyone behind. Please, this is a very big issue that we often have with the tenders. And then number 2, get there that hour earlier, have it relaxed. And also number 3, with regards to coming back with the tenders, you don't need tickets. You don't really need anything other than just standing in line so that we can get you on to the next tender that arrives. Coming back onto the ship is a lot easier than leaving the ship when we're busy with this process, because you can literally grab your tender ticket, get called 20 minutes later, go outside, spend an hour walking around, go, I'm bored, come back to the ship, and all you've got to do is stand in line. So coming back to the ship with tender is super easy. Just try to be there an hour before the last tender. That way you can actually have a very relaxing time coming back to the ship. Also, if anything does happen, like rocky weather, you are then hopefully in a less crowded tender boat and nothing bad will happen. And if you do get seasick, don't worry, we're all trained to look after you and take care of you. And you will be surprised, there's been a lot of people who've gotten seasick on tender boats. Sometimes big ship, big cruise ship, not a problem. Small itty bitty baby tender boat, massive problem. And speaking from experience, I've had a lot of co-workers where working on a cruise ship, they've never had to take seasickness tablets, going on an itty bitty tender boat, and they needed it. And then last but not least, number 7, please be kind to the crew that are trying to help you. And that is everyone from the person who's handing out the tickets all the way down to the people who are helping you get on the boat and helping run the operations behind the scenes. Because you think it is stressful for yourself going, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to get this done, and all of that. We are just as stressed. We're hiding it better though, because if we look stressed, then you get stressed. And we do our best to try to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as humanly possible. And unfortunately, we do have hiccups. We do have situations that cause things to slow down. But just please be patient, be kind. The crew are doing their best to get you off that ship so you can have a good time in the port that you have paid money to come visit to. Because why would we want to keep you on a ship when we want you to go exploring? We want you to get off. We want you to see the itinerary that you have paid for, because you've climbed on board a ship, come all the way to see a place. Why would we keep you locked on board? That sounds like a terrible idea. The cruise ships would be out of service if that was what our mentality actually was. But yeah, those were 7 tips, hopefully to help you understand this water shuttle, tender operations, water taxi nonsensery that goes on. Now please note, every cruise line is different and every cruise line has got a different operational style. So please make sure that you double check what their operational style is well in advance. Also, it just makes life easy if you decide to plan ahead with what is going on that port for you. And if it's a day you're going to stay on board, trust me, there are plenty of activities to keep you entertained. Or a very quiet pool area where you can actually relax and not have to listen to a whole bunch of screaming people. But otherwise, hopefully this was informational and helpful. My name is Tara and I am from An Uncharted Life, on board cruise ships and giving you every tip and trick in the book that I can think of. Thank you for joining me for all the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Bye!